Yes. So we come back. They should collect their nets from the seashores and take their boats. The tide is full of wealth. The tide which is brought in, it is brought in fishes, seagulls are flying, etc. Everything are there. They are their kings. They should go into the sea to capture the wealth that is theirs. Hence they should hurry. If it gets late, again the tide will rise and they will not be able to go into the sea. The poet asked the fishermen to do everything fast. The seagull's call is a symbol to use the defect of the morning is here. Seagull's call in the morning. Birds. The poet calls the sea as their mother, cloud as the brother, and sea waves as their comrades. That is companions. Again, here the poet uses a personification. Sea is considered the mother because it feeds them and helps them to sustain their life. Similarly, clouds are their brothers because they guide the fishermen, while the waves are companions because they keep moving with them. And the poet thus wants to say that they are all family and help each other. Okay. She urges not to fear because even if they could not return back by the sunset, the sea god, which according to her holds the sea storm by the hair, will save them. Hide in his breast our lives. Sometimes they can't come back. It gets late. So they stay into the sea. The next morning they come back. And by that time, if there's any storm or anything, the God is there. The sea is their God, mother. They worship the sea. He will take care of. Hide in his breast our lives. And they hold the sea storm by the hair. They have such a belief in God. The sea is created by God. So it is under control, under him. Okay. Stanza 3. It's the final stanza. The poet says that the shade of the coconut glade, the scent of the mango grove, and the sands of the O moon with the sound of the voices. Sound of the voices we love are sweet and enjoyable, but these joys are temporary. Rather, they should go for the kiss of the spray, the water drops falling from the face while in the sea, and dance on the foam's glee, the foam which forms up and down movement on the tides, the froth, white froth you see, it sprays. According to the poet, these are sweeter and work struggling. Life is good under the mango tree, smell of that, but work hard, work for it, fight for it, and get your thing, get your freedom. Go into it, it's your wealth, attain it. In the last line, she asked the fisherman, which says, row brothers row, to depart for the point in the sea where the sun meets the sky, horizon. It refers to an infinity or a place without end. She's actually asking the fisherman to dive into this indefinite sea, go into it, grab hold of it. Understood? This is what she is wanting in the poem. Very nice poem, I liked it. Now, let's come back to understanding what she wanting in this with freedom. The poet asked the freedom fighters, the fishermen, to wake up as the success that independence is quite near. The awakening of the sky spray, the morning light, symbolizes the land which is welcoming the independence after being in the darkness of the slavery for so long. I am comparing it with freedom fighting. That's what the poem says, that she, Beauty Around Her, wrote about several poems of nature, love, life, death, patriotism, and some similar themes. So why not do it? The wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn like a child that has cried all night. Refers to the atrocities that the land of India, refers to the atrocities that the land of India and the people of India had suffered in the hands of the British during their rule. With the independence, it will vanish away. The wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn like a child. We have been so much suffering the whole night, the suffering of our people. With the independence, it will vanish away if you get up and fight for it. Come, let's gather our nets from the shore and set our catamans free. Asks the freedom fighters of India to take their weapons, nets, to capture the leaping wealth of the tide, that is freedom of India, because they are the kings of the sea, which refers to India. We are the owners of India. But my point, the poet urges freedom fighters not to delay, at once start fighting, as the leaders, seagulls, have declared war against the British, and they should follow their leader's path. The sea is our mother, the cloud is our brother, the waves are all our comrades. That is, the land theirs, and everything in it is their family, and hence the freedom fighters need not fear. The land, our mother, God. Bhumi, Matribhumi, the land which is Mother God, will protect them from the wind or the foreign rulers, and protect them. The freedom fighters will be protected from the wind, that is the foreign fighters, the British. Final stanza, the poet says that the comforts and joys that the Indian enjoy under the might, it might be sweet, but the fragrance of independence and the feeling of being free is quite sweeter than that. And hence, the freedom fighters should wage a final war against the British. Okay, so this is what it is. And I just tried to compare it with the poem, so I brought it till there. Take care, read the poem, understand. We are done with this. I guess no more explanation is needed from this. I hope you like it. I don't know if I was able to explain it to you, but I have given a best explanation. I have, as far as I am in concern about my explanation. So next class I'll come back. I'll help you out more with it. You'll be able to, after these two explanations from different angles, you'll be able to answer them properly, right? So take care, be good, and have fun. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye. See you soon.